right, everybody. How's it going on YouTube land? Welcome to HWP Podcast. We have our first episode here in the, we're going to call this Talking Junk. I have my good new friend here and partner here. I'm going to say partner because we're going to be friends in the future and, help each other out in the business world. So he reached out to me on YouTube. Well, not on YouTube, but from my YouTube videos. And we got here on a podcast for our very first episode. And how do you feel, Eric?
I'm good. I'm anxious. It's good to have somebody in the same boat. That we're starting out around the same time and to collaborate with, and just be able to bounce ideas off each other and information, and be able to help each other step it up, and less mistakes, less money wasted.
Oh yeah, and that's the good thing. When Eric reached out to me, it was an immediate conversation when I called you.
Oh yeah.
When I called you, we talked, I think like a good 30 minutes or so.
Oh yeah, easy.
And it was like a free flow conversation. Like he said, we are at the same stage. And when you get connections and partnership and not afraid to open up, you can actually accomplish great things. So I got a couple of questions here for you today.
Okay.
One question I didn't write down here. What is the name of your business? Let everybody know what's the name of your business and where do you service?
Trash hauling and junk removal in the HD, being the high desert. And we cover most all the high desert cities here, even into Barstow and Apple Valley and Victorville, Adelano, Lucerne Valley, even out to Phelan. Pinion Hills will make the drive out there. It's not a problem. If you got stuff you need cleaned up and clutter and junk, we're the ones to call. Mini storages, we do that. No problem. We got a job coming up where a customer had retaining walls put in and they need a lot of dirt removed. So we're going to go do that, and we don't have a tractor. We rent a tractor for the day. If that's what it takes, that's what it does. Who wants to shovel it all by hand? So, whatever it takes to pay the bills.
And that's pretty smart. Because I think, renting something when you don't actually have it, it serves the customer, and as well, it helps you before you even buy it to learn how to work it. So therefore, you're like going through your trial and errors, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And myself, I have a little background with equipment and that, so I'm familiar with it. So, and I don't happen to have one in my yard, so I'll go rent one for the day. It's a newer piece of equipment. It's less likely to break down.
Right.
It's less likely to have any oil leaks or drips. If you get into somebody's driveway in their yard or something, there's no complaints, no headaches. So we spend a little extra money to have a better piece of equipment, and if it's temporary, that's fine. You rent it for the day until one day maybe you could buy it, if that's the route we go down. And, and a more demolition work too. We do some of that, and eventually you get bigger and better equipment little by little. But meanwhile, I believe in renting, to have it to show up professionally also.
And so let's get to the questions here. So why junk removal? What made you get into this industry?
Well, I'm getting up there older in age, where I'm not as young, and I do get out and hustle. My day starts at 6 a.m. and it ends at midnight, 7 days a week. Whew. I don't let up. Yeah. People that know me wonder why I don't let up. And my end game, my goal is to be able to let up later in life. But God forbid something happened to me. I have a business my wife can run with crews or our kids as they grow into it also. And she has a stable income that will continue without my help.
Wow.
If I'm not able to do it, what if I'm a paraplegic or something, quadriplegic?
Right.
What if I'm just underground, that it won't financially affect her. And I believe that's the biggest thing when somebody passes is the financial aspect.
Man, tell me about it. Yeah, that is a big thing. People, and no offense to anybody, they get the GoFundMe going, but, and it's like you putting things in place for like a legacy, literally. And then he's like, Isaiah's going to know how to put those things into place for his family, and it's going to spread for generations.
Well, definitely. It's something too that my goal is to set up my kids. If they choose this industry to follow me in, I will set them up, and they'll have a truck. They'll have a guy or two with them, a crew with the trailer, whatever the job entails that we got to go do that day. So they learn the business also, and if they decide to stick with it, they have right in. It's a simple, to me, education and knowledge is what moves you forward. They say a jack of all trades, master of none.
Right.
Well, there's one more line to that. And it's better than knowing just one.
Yeah. Hey, I would say a jack of all trades is actually pretty good because you learn different aspects of every different angle. And if you're just a master of one, it's not bad, but I think you kind of like pigeonhole yourself.
Yeah, I believe that. You kind of put yourself down one road when you don't have too many avenues to go down. And a jack of all trades opens up your avenues. And, like a lot of kids will go to college and they go to get a degree, but what if they go start that industry and learn they don't really like it, so they change their mind and want to go a different route?
Yeah, especially in the field of business, you can be a jack of all trades because the principle is still the same, business.
Exactly.
And so once you leave the principle is the same, then you can be a jack of all trades because you're pretty much doing the same thing as far as the business aspect.
Well, look at a handyman. He can go to the house. He can fix pretty much anything that you have broken.
Right.
Electrical, plumbing, anything. Stucco. He's gonna do small remodels. So a handyman, per se, is a jack of all trades. He can show up and fix pretty much everything.
Yeah, literally. So I know we talked about it a little bit earlier. So this is not your first business, correct?
No, I've had multiple businesses in the past.
All right, let us fill us in.
Well, at one time I was a broker, and in the trucking industry, and I had 150 independent owner operators that worked under me.
Oh my gosh!
And the same, I realized that I don't want to sit at a desk all day, on the phone, on the computer. Yeah. Multiple phone lines coming in at once, ringing at the same time. Sometimes it's kind of like a feast or famine. They either all ring or they don't ring, and I'm more of a hands-on guy. I don't like to sit at a desk. So shortly after a while, I realized that wasn't for me.
Yeah, my brother is a truck driver, but he also has his own dispatching business.
Yes.
So I know it's not exactly the broker, but I know about sitting in front of that desk. You got to wake up, get on them routes, get on them load boards.
It's constant.
It's constant phone calls, talking to people, making sure it got there on time.
Oh yeah.
So I definitely understand that.
Yeah. So it's and like I say, it's choosing your avenue, and having other options or decisions makes it great,
Yeah.
I've been a heavy equipment diesel mechanic. I had a service truck, and I'd pull up and fix anything broken on a piece of equipment. What big Caterpillars, John Deeres.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what it was. Even big trucks, they're lowboy trailers, and I did that for quite a while too. 2008 hit, and that hurt a lot of people.
Man.
So.
Yeah, I can only imagine, especially out this way. I know it's probably because since moving out here, it's a little slower than the city. It's like I said, it's less people.
Yes.
But with the crash, I just know it really hurt a lot of people back in 2008, and even I guess they say the pandemic now, it hurt a lot of people. So the next question here, we got, what is it that you love most about the business and being a businessman, entrepreneurship? I know we talked about family, leaving stuff for your family, but for your personal self, what is it that you love? Is it the grind or?
You know what? It is a lot of the grind. That I'm not afraid of work. That's an easy thing to do. All you got to do is get up and do it. But the thing that too is the satisfaction. Every day when somebody pays you with a smile,
right?
You brought them joy that you took care of a headache for them.
Yeah.
So they're happy to pay you. And sometimes you might have in your mind, did I bid that too high or something? And they pay you with a smile, no problem. They're happy with it, So, and you got to it's a learning curve for us, obviously learning bidding, our pricing. We'll do price per yard in our trailer, what it'll handle and what kind of debris we're picking up too. It could be concrete load that we're hauling off. It could be branches, something lighter. It's hard to say. So learning our bidding is always a big learning curve, of course.
Yeah.
But,
and for me, I know I got a single axle trailer, so I can't really. One job I did, it was way too heavy, and I underbidded myself. Yeah. So I underestimated the weight of tree stumps.
Oh yeah.
And oh my gosh, that tore my trailer up. I had to put new nails in there and build the sides back up again. And it's really like you said, like a learning curve with everything, trying to bid, the weight fees and just everything that's involved.
And that's one thing too, because we have the one dump here that we go to the most, and then we have a transfer station over in Hesperia also. So the same thing too. We go and get a printout. You can ask at any of your landfills to get a printout of their dump fees, and it'll have the weight on there.
Right.
And for ours here, I think it's up to 300 pounds is a flat rate of like $13 and change. But after that, it goes per pound. And when you hit a 2,000 pound or a single ton, I believe it is, that it goes 55, to 55, 59, somewhere around almost $60, So, and then we have another disposal place that takes concrete and asphalt where that is cheaper, but it is heavier, a lot heavier. So, we got to take that into account.
Yeah. And I never realized how beat up the truck gets I mean, you think a truck is strong and it's supposed to haul anything, but that truck is like a heavyweight champ taking punches, 12 rounds a day,
They do, and, myself, I had a lot of half-ton trucks. I stepped up to another 3/4 ton here recently, but I definitely knew I wasn't going to buy new for that reason. It's a work truck.
Oh yeah.
If you buy new, you're going to worry more about taking
scratches
care of
and
it, and
dings.
scratching it, keeping it clean and everything, and something's going to happen eventually here or
Yeah.
there. You know, with workers yourselves, accidents happen. There's always
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, one thing that discouraged me when I first started out, the first actual day, and I didn't put this in the video because when I first started my videos, my serpentine belt serpentine belt went out while I was doing the job.
Oh,
So literally, all my gauges are up. Everything looked like it's hot. Everything looked like it's no oil in there. Everything is just horrible. And I'm literally having to fake it in front of the customer like nothing is wrong.
Oh, yeah.
As I pull off, and it's so hard to turn the
No
truck
power
as
steering.
as I go down the block, and it's so I pull into Pep Boys with a whole bunch of junk in my back, and then they still fix the truck with all that stuff, with all the stuff in the back. But it was like, man, that was a difficult and discouraging time, and I could see why a lot of businesses fail, because the simple thing is that people quit.
You know, it's just not being afraid of the hurdles.
Yeah.
We're going to come up against so many hurdles. Like you say, you underbid a job. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
We have to take that. But, everything is a lesson learned.
Yeah.
So now next time tree stumps are a little bit heavier. You're going to have to bid a little higher,
Yeah.
And the same with the truck. We obviously have to do more maintenance on them more often. We're not commuting just up and down or, around on the highways. So we put a lot more wear and tear. We put harder. We hit hills and, we might get stuck in the mud in the rainy season here coming to the dump. It's going to happen.
And with the hustle and everything, the preventive maintenance, are you doing things to maximize maximize your loads? Like if somebody gives you like this furniture here, are you flipping? Are you doing any furniture flipping?
We do.
Oh,
we do a little bit, yes. But if it looks iffy or something, we'll dump it. It's not worth the time or headache.
Right.
And one thing on another YouTuber up in Northern Cal, they said too that one of their things they do for the slow season is sell off their furniture because it's slower. You have more time at home.
Yeah.
Or wherever you might have your stuff in a mini storage, you've rented to keep your stuff and selling it little by little. But now you got more time to put into that.
Literally, some
so
more
then
research
you can
to see how
start your
much you go
flipping
for.
bigger into the winter time as the junk removal slows down.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because when you can research more and see the prices and what it's going for in your area to see if it's even in your area. Or sometimes I even save money by taking it instead of flipping. I just save money by taking it to the donation.
Oh yeah, definitely.
To save on the weight fee.
Definitely.
To
we
get
do
that down
quite a bit too.
I think on this street right here alone, it's like 3 or 4 or maybe two or three different thrift shops that I go to.
Oh yeah,
there's
quite a few in the area. And that helps a lot of people out, of course, and what something might not be for one person's standard, it's fine for another.
Right.
So it works out great to help it out and pass it along.
Okay, and let's go to our next question here. What is your main goal out of, 'cause I know you say you have multiple businesses, and what's your main goal as a businessman in life, like for your entrepreneurship?
In this business in particular, I do want the growth. And the growth, like I said, is for my family.
Oh, yeah.
They'll come first to me no matter what. So something that they can carry on if they choose. My children, if they want to step into it and do it, they're welcome to. That's no problem. I'll teach them the ins and outs of everything a bit about it. Let's say a car accident. Overnight, you're done.
Right.
One thing can happen. And then what? Who's going to step into your shoes and continue that so there's no financial hardships?
Right.
So that is my main goal. Is always my family. My family is taken care of, and it just turns out that financial is the number one. For most of every family.
Yeah. And that's actually pretty good. People, leaving your family number one, you'll get a lot of things accomplished, because every time you wake up, you'll have that fire burning motivation to keep going every day, which is what keeps me going. I mean, me and my wife have been married 3 years, and this is probably the best time I ever had in my entire life, just having that motivation of having family, a legendary, not a legendary, a legacy to continue and
I
to
think
keep
it's
growing.
a better driver.
Yeah.
Internal, that's your drive.
Yeah.
I mean, my son is here with us today behind the camera, and he's mentioned before in the past, he goes, Dad, I don't know anybody that works so many hours like you do. I said, well, it's for a reason. And for me, I don't spend the extra money to go out and play. I invest it into equipment, into my business, and so we don't get a lot of that outside fun family time, but it's a time together. We do the business together, so we get to hang out together that way too. And just the meals together, the conversations together, it all helps, Yeah,
spending time is spending time.
Exactly.
I mean, that's another reason I want to eventually leave the 9 to 5 life and be able to create my own schedule every single day, so I can implant my family into the time schedule.
Exactly.
And just to spend that quality time. Because even just talking to my daughter, how smart she is, and just growing, and you be like, when did you learn that?
Oh yeah, you lose it quick.
Yeah,
you miss it.
You lose time quick, and so. That aspect, I like that as a main goal for you, and I commend that a lot.
I appreciate that.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give to your younger self as a business person, and also you just younger people in general?
Don't be scared to go out and do it. Just do it. Really, you know what? You might feel embarrassed at times. You might feel shy at times. Sometimes you got to go knock on doors. Just do it.
Oh yeah.
You know what? The sooner you start, the sooner you're successful, by far. And yes, we're going to make mistakes. It happens, but that's fine. You'll learn from it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, because a lot of people just don't do it.
Yes.
And, I know for me, literally, with the junk removal business, I sat there for a couple of months on the couch like, man, do I want to start it? Do I not want to start it? Do I not want to start it? And then when I actually did start it, I'm like, oh, this is actually lucrative. I can be successful within the business. And
I think a lot comes into overthinking it.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely is a lot. And you just bought a piece now. I'm going to start renting equipment. Although I see people do it before, and, people have like dumpster businesses and stuff like that. Yep. But I'm going to start renting equipment to maximize my quality of work.
Of course.
And, to bring the more hustle into the work. So I don't want to be scared to rent it, because every time I go to Home Depot, I'm looking at it like, oh, man, there go the dump trailer. There go the dump trailer.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to try it out now. I just want to buy it. But and in my videos, I say I want to buy everything outright. But I need to go try it out first to make sure I even need it.
And that is true. And two, you might be more comfortable with one style of equipment rather than another. Maybe a mini excavator compared to a skid steer or something. But it also pertains on the job, you know. And you buy one piece of equipment, you're stuck to that. And if you finance it, you're on that monthly payment, right? What if you don't use it for 2 or 3 months and you needed another piece of equipment when that monthly payment could have rented that equipment instead to do that job?
Yeah.
So in the demolition work, it can be like that also, depending on the type of job you're doing. You might be busting up a cement driveway and turning it all out of there. You need a certain piece of equipment to make life easier.
Oh, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. All right. So we're done with the questions here.
Yep.
We're just going to go. This is just questions I have off the top of my head now. So the truck that you have now, have you ever thought about doing what they call the gooseneck?
Yes.
The hot shot?
No. I drove over the road at one time. And I do enjoy it, and I do miss it, but I don't for the aspect that I love coming home with my family every night.
Ah, man.
So that's the whole thing for me why I don't do it.
No,
I believe it's a lucrative business. You can make quite a bit of money hot shot driving, and if you're willing to put in the miles and put in the time, there's definitely money to make. And just like any business, if you really put into it, you're going to get more out of it.
Oh, yeah. And so, that makes a lot of sense, because since I got a truck, because before, like I said, I came from downhill Inglewood area.
Yep.
So I was a city boy. So I didn't believe in buying pickup trucks. I was buying just regular cars, and you can make so much money with a truck.
Yes.
Like you could literally just be an average Joe like me on the street and just literally start your own company with a truck. And I think that's important for a lot of people to know too, that to buy. You can buy a 5.0 Mustang, but I wasn't able to start a junk removal, even though my truck has the same engine.
Yeah. Well, and that's it too. In this industry for us too is junk removal. One of the other avenues is being at like a Lowe's or a Home Depot, Osh, picking up stuff for people. A lot of people show up, even at Costco. They show up with their car and they buy something, and oh man, we brought the car, we didn't bring a truck today or something, or we need somebody to haul it for us. Oh, we know a guy, call this guy, maybe a repeat customer. Hey, are you able to pick this up for us? We just bought a brand new couch. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
There's, lumber's at the hardware store, picking up a load of lumber or brick for somebody that has a project going on and they don't have trucks.
Yeah, I literally a couple of times sat up right outside of Home Depot, passed out my cards, let everybody know who was going in if you guys need anything. I didn't get no jobs for that particular day, but it's people that's actually talking to you. You're creating conversations.
Oh, definitely.
I went to what's this? It's a lot of coffee shops, not Dutch Bros, but I went to Six Bean.
Six Bean, yep.
And I was just sitting there passing out cards, and I got a job there doing some yard work for somebody, and that was like in and out within 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
So just having the truck and somebody seeing that you have the equipment there that they're ready to go.
Definitely.
Then you can hustle like that.
Yeah, and for us in our environment, being in the high desert, there's a lot of weed abatement, and it turns a lot of tumbleweeds.
Man.
And code enforcement will drive around and they'll cite people for letting it overgrow. So, and that's not. It looks bad, but tumbleweeds are huge. So
Yeah.
you take one out and you made a big dent. Take another one out, all of a sudden you're done.
Yeah.
You know, and if you can pack
Literally,
it down.
I know right across the street from where I live, you know, it's a whole bunch of weeds over there and stuff. But I literally did like a 2-acre lot just of land.
Yeah.
And that was my job for it took me like a day and a half. That was actually my very first job doing
Yep.
a 2-acre lot, and I did that for way less money.
Yeah.
But the good thing with things like that, like weed and stuff like that, the weight is not
Exactly.
it's not really there. So I paid $13 for 2 days of work, and I think I made maybe $250 for that bid. But you know, went out there
Yeah.
4 hours a day. That's better than what I would have got paid at my old job.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
well-
want to say their name.
Yeah. And otherwise, you might what? Sit at home.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's something that pays.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's all it comes down to, because it does all add up. All the little jobs add up to a lot sometimes.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to hit that really big job. You're waiting for that big score, that big commercial job. Sometimes in that big waiting, you could have knocked out dozens of small jobs and made a lot more money.
And I honestly, my first month, I skipped out on maybe because it was just laziness, honestly. I skipped out on a couple of dollars, maybe $75 here, $80 there, just off of laziness. That's not enough to get up my truck. But yes, it is.
It is.
It is, and it all adds up. It's like if somebody pays you $5 a day for a year, you're going to see a nice nice amount of money in your account at the end of the year.
Well, say if you have a minimum picking up a mattress, say $45, you're going to go pick up a mattress. How long is it going to take you?
5 minutes.
Exactly. So what if you did that 10 times in one day?
Yeah.
You got one trip to the dump.
Yeah, one trip to the dump, easy $450. I say the dump fees for over here, that's not even close to a ton, probably be about $30. And who wouldn't want to make $400 in a day?
Simple stuff.
In one day, and you do that daily, and you get a relationship with these different realtors.
Exactly.
Actually, our realtor for our house that we bought, that helped us buy this house, he's actually got me on board with him as a contractor for junk
That's
removal.
perfect. That's great.
So you never know what relationships you can create.
Exactly, and word spreads.
Yeah.
Word spreads. You do a good job, and word will spread.
Oh yeah. So let's get to the next point here. He actually bought some toys for us.
Yeah.
So let's find out about a little bit of the payment options here.
Oh, I'm turning this on. I'll talk to you about it. This is called the Clove Flex. For me, I went to a purchase or a lease option, and when you fire it up, I don't need to clock in right now. So if you can see that, it's similar to an Android phone. I'll let you look at it and play with it there a little bit. And, feel free to go ahead and put some money on there for me. So this one in particular, it has the touchless on top there, and in the bottom, if you turn it down facing toward me like you're scanning this direction, you can slide a card in there for a chip. And then you can put in the dollar amount. You can type in the dollar amount, and it's there. They can also add in a tip if they chose. A lot of businesses use something like this. Even in the restaurant industry or something, they could use something like this. And I'll tell you, the reason I went to a lease option, so I believe it was probably $36, $37 a month.
Right.
Well, for an additional $15 a month, it has its own cell phone signal on it.
Oh.
So you don't need to have a hotspot for it.
Right.
You can use it anywhere. So it's portable.
Oh,
It's
wow.
cordless, obviously.
Yeah.
You can recharge it, same as your cell phone, real simple. So this will
Charge it
do a
up
lot
while you're
more than I
driving.
ever want. This will print out receipts. Down here in the bottom, you see it's a little thicker. It spits out receipt down here.
Oh wow.
So it's got a roll of paper in there, like the old school calculators, and it'll print out your receipt. Go ahead, put $100 on there for me. I'll give you a receipt.
That's
I'll
a
show you.
walking. That's a walking register.
It is. It is exactly. So, and I'll tell you the reason I went to lease option, right? So if I wanted to buy this outright, I believe the price was probably around $500. Okay, so it's good. I own it outright, and of course it's a write-off. Well, so is the lease option is a write-off. So now I got into it for less money. Well, next year, what if they come out with an option that's smaller, lighter, greater, better signal, whatever the case is? I can go upgrade for nothing.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm a year into this in payments, and then I'll go into another one.
Ah.
So yeah, in the long run, it would cost me a little more money leasing it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's all a write-off for us.
Yeah. And
So-
and the easy upgrade, like you said, it's simple. So you just go ahead and swap it in and swap it out. Still got your information in there. Your
This will
clientele.
keep track of all your numbers. This will almost do minor bookkeeping for you.
Oh wow.
And you saw it's like an Android phone. It's
Yeah.
got it's got crazy amount of apps in it.
Yeah.
You know, and we don't need to clock in. I mean, it's got phone sales in there and a wireless manager and refunds, your transactions, shifts. If you have employees working for you, employees clocking in and out, and I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's just there's all there. You can even do scheduling in there. It's got calendars and stuff in there too. So
wow, this literally looks like it feels like I'm on a cell phone here.
Exactly.
That's actually pretty cool. Got shifts you can clock in and out. You know, especially if you have a team of people.
Yeah.
You got promos, so you can promote in here.
Yeah, there's all kinds of.
Has a camera in case you have to take a picture of a card or anything like that. A cash log when people pay you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this thing literally is a one-stop shop.
So if you have a repeat customer, there's their info.
Yeah. So technically, your truck is the brick and mortar.
Yeah, it is. It really is. You know, and it's just one more piece of equipment to make life easier for us.
Right.
You know, hey, I don't accept anything right now. Can you have cash waiting for me? And you know, and it happens. I remember one of your episodes, your channels, that you said that they might have shorted you on accident.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, you're upfront and honest about it. Hey, you know, it's probably an honest mistake. It's no big deal, you know, and I'm going to let them know, and sure. But there's no question, you know, hey, I can take a payment over the phone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's simple for everybody. Hey, I can't be home. Can you come pick it up at this time? I'm going to be leaving. It's, yeah, it's no problem. I'll take before and after pictures. I'll show you. I'll process it over the phone for you. That's no problem. So it's to me, it's a convenient tool.
Yeah. And now that you say that kind of helped me, you know, think about the way I talk to people. I you know, being towards more business minded instead of saying I, say we.
Exactly.
Or my business can do that. The team can do that. Because when I first started out, I was like, yeah, I can do that for you. So and then it feels like that's when people was like, all right, let's bargain the price more.
Oh yeah.
So it's like once you're established and you're firm, you're more business minded. People see that, then they don't mind paying the price with a smile, like how you said earlier.
Definitely. And you know, and obviously you the same as myself. We've all a lot of other channels on YouTube that are in this industry, and you learn a lot of points from that.
Right.
A lot of tips, and you know the same thing is you could build up multiple addresses under the same name. So we know somebody in the next town over, you can use an address there. It's a friend or a family. Hey, can I use your address? I want to put it like as a second division.
Right.
So then how much bigger do you look when you have two divisions, two addresses?
Real big.
And a website?
Yeah.
You're not a guy standing in the street corner looking for work. You got a website. You're professional. A website gives you that level up.
Yeah.
And it's simple and cheap to get into.
Yeah. Like literally I paid $9 a month with Weebly. And I put my website up. It took me about 30 minutes to put it up. Of course, I still have to learn stuff that we talked about the other day, the search engine optimization and things of that nature. By the way, can you mention, because that was a great video that you sent me.
Yeah.
Can you mention the name of that video for our viewers?
Oh, that one, let's see, that would have been Blue Crocus Solutions.
There we go.
They're a management company, and they work in the junk removal and demolition.
Yeah.
But the particular video we watch, if you look it up on YouTube, he's $15K in a month. And he has a management solutions, so he learned the office end of all this, but the key words. So in our industry, we do a lot of before and after pictures. Well, here's the thing. Word it differently. Shed demolition before, shed demolition after. So now when you go into Google search for demolition, your pictures will pop up with your website.
Yeah, like literally. So when I seen that video, I immediately went to edit my website, my photos, so my JPEGs and my JPGs or whatever, or my PNG photos. I changed the name beforehand, so therefore when I uploaded it, when like he said, when people search it on Google, possibly my page can be right at the front, especially if they're in my area. And I definitely started using those I definitely put that on my YouTube too as well. Beforehand, before I even noticed. So like in the tag area, I put like Apple Valley, just to put it. And honestly, you're, like I said, you're the second person that's in my area that reached out to me. I had somebody else that just showed up at my door with his truck like, hey, can you teach me junk removal?
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, hey, all right, cool, we can do that.
Exactly. And that's what it's out. You know, everybody helping each other. And one day I'm overbooked and you're underbooked and call you, hey, I got a couple extra loads, you want to handle them?
Right.
Sure, I'll share the jobs with you. That's never a problem for me, because the more we help each other, the more we're all successful. And you know, the same with advertising. The more we're out driving around or working, we're advertising. So
yeah,
why would
literally a walking billboard.
Oh, definitely. And that's one thing we're going to work on is a screen printing of our shirts. We show up in these shirts. We're bright. We're advertised. And that's what we all wear out. These are our work shirts is what we say. Let's put on our work shirts. Let's go.
Yeah.
So, and then right now I'm working on doing placards on my truck. For me, I notice when we go to Home Depot or that, you see contractors, they have the smaller magnets, on their doors. Sometimes people got to look or something. So I'm spending a little more money, and I'm getting it to cover both of my doors on my truck. I have a 4-door truck, and I'll do both sides. I'm going to do the back window, and that's what I'll do on the trailers also.
Are you getting what they call like wrapped or something like that?
Similar but smaller, yeah. I'm not wrapping the entire vehicle, just the sides.
Just the sides.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of expense involved in that just the same. So we're starting out. We can't a lot of money to shell out.
Yeah, and me personally, I do have the door magnets, but I want to expand bigger because I paid it was I think I got like a 24 by 36 or something like that, but people are still squinting.
Yes.
They can see the logo, they can see the phone number, but they're like, okay, what do you do between there? Because it's not enough. It's only so much space that you can put in there.
They can
and
even
if you
read.
just cover your door, then you're like I say, you're a walking billboard.
Getting your font size bigger.
Yeah.
Your phone number really big, your name really big, and then you can break down what you do. To me, like you say, it's a billboard. The bigger it is, the more advertising you're going to get.
Right.
In the same way we plan to do with our shirts. We were walking around before we met up today, and we had some errands to run, and we were wearing our work shirts, the family, and everybody's like, "Oh, you can't be missed. Here's a business card." Oh, okay. That's why you guys are all wearing these shirts matching.
Starter.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's funny. Well, like I said, for me, I made my t-shirts. HWP Junk Removal.
Yep.
HWP started off as a clothing line, so it's called Hustle, with WIT, and then patience for patience, having patience. So you have to have all three. So it started off as a clothing line, and then I learned that just because you have a business as a clothing line doesn't mean that you can do another business under the same name.
Yes.
Or was it DBA or something like that?
Yes.
You can do a DBA under the same LLC, and you can have many facets. It doesn't just have to be. You're not just like how we was talking about the jack of all trades. You're not just holding yourself under one. So I was like, well, since I already know how to make clothes, let me go ahead and make them for the junk removal business.
Of course.
Since I'm already here, so I can have that in-house money and save.
So now your junk business buys it from your clothing business, one funding another.
Oh, wow.
Warren Buffett does that.
Yeah, I never even,
Warren Buffett owns trucking companies, railroads, multiple businesses that need to move their freight.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was in on Geico, owning like a whole bunch of insurance and different insurances, and he has his hands in a lot of money.
So diversify, helping yourself. I have a welding business. Who do you think is going to build my dump trailer?
You.
That's right. That's right.
Dang, yeah, dropping gems.
So yeah, I mean that's how I see it. I mean, at the end of the day, we want to keep more of our money, right?
Right.
I mean that's the whole deal, and we want our businesses to succeed.
Right.
So obviously, we get our name out there helping ourselves.
Exactly. And me, like, to help myself, I like to make the content. I went to film school, graduated in 2013 for film, so I always try to keep the content going and different things. Like, this is probably my third podcast I got going. I got a sports podcast that's on a different channel. And so just branding in general, from shirts to clothing to billboarding, I think those are all things that we can plug in to make ourselves successful.
Oh, yeah.
Along with, like how you saying, sharing the connections. And if somebody called me for a job that I know you can complete, like literally, if they be like, hey, I need you to remove this and weld this back together, I'd be like, okay, well, I have a connection for you. Let me check his schedule.
Yeah.
And so I think those are the steps that we can take to just be successful. And in closing, do you have anything else that you would like to let the world know? Do you have you could let them know your name again, your business name, the areas, and what you have going on in the future?
Well, definitely. We're similar to yourself. We cover all the high desert right now. At this point in time, we do plan to expand down the hill into the IE. That's where I'm from. We want to get back down there. We got family down there, and go ahead and expand. More branches. You can catch us Best Trash Removal in the HD.com, and we're also 760-912-4300. We will be expanding into the dumpster rentals also.
Oh, wow.
I do have that name already taken. So, I'm Best Trash Hauling. We've also got Best Best Dumpsters rentals. So I've also paid for that name.
Oh, wow.
So I can hold it. What is some of the Google searches? What is the best?
Yeah, that's they actually said best trash hauling in my area or something like that are the key words. So.
Yeah, that's me, buddy.
Yeah, so he's already Eric is already up there with the search engine optimization. Like, you know, you're putting yourself in a position where people have no choice but to call you.
Well, you know, but that was the thing for us. We're not as tech savvy as yourself, so the website we didn't do it in a half hour. We're more like a whole week to get it all figured out. And plenty of time on the phone with GoDaddy's, who we went through.
Yeah.
And we went ahead and paid the 3 years up front. We're in it for the long run, you know. We're not going to go out there, and so, you know, we struggle with it a little bit, you know, and learning the ins and outs. And turns out we were editing a free platform instead of the paid one, so we had to go back and do it again.
Oh, wow.
So it's a learning curve, and that's where I say, you know, to me, it's all about helping each other. You know, everybody has knowledge in some avenue more than another, maybe, but the more you share, you know, your car breaks down, you might call me and say, hey, I know you know how to work on cars.
Right.
Well, yeah, hey, you know, my serpentine belt broke or something. Hey, give me a call. You know, are you in the area? Can you help me real quick? You know, I'm stranded in the middle of somebody's property, you know, so you never know. So, you know, and that's what it is. I believe that people need to have each other's backs more than anything.
Yeah. And in closing, like he said, in tech, little story on me in tech, in the tech world, I went to school, like I said, for film, and I could always, you know, be behind the camera, but I didn't really start wanting to do like film and stuff to actually start self-learning the tech myself.
Yeah.
So I didn't go to like college for like technical stuff behind the computer. This is stuff I literally learned on YouTube University.
Oh man, you can learn so much online.
So, so I literally did that. That's how I got the job I got now. I went on Google. Actually, I got this. So I'll show you after we get off here.
All right.
It's this place on Google where you get to. They have these classes where you get these certificates, and all I did was get the certificate, put that on my resume, and that's how I got into the tech world.
Good deal.
Yeah. So
Wow.
it took 2 months to get that certificate, and
Well
you know,
worth
that's
it.
well worth it. So, jack of all trades, people. You got to be able to do everything.
Exactly.
So, in closing, this is the HWP podcast. This is Eric. I'm Sean. And how did you enjoy today's episode?
I enjoyed it quite a bit. I could see a second part coming. We can obviously continue into this a lot more.
Yes. Definitely. Eric will be a guest that will be here multiple times. I can feel his energy here, and he has a lot of knowledge and a lot of gems that I think that a lot of you can appreciate. And hopefully, in the future we can be on his channel too.
I appreciate it, bud.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.